So I'm having a chat with Sola Akingbola. How are you?
Not too bad, Jim. Thank you. Thank you for having me on.
The pleasure is all mine. And when we get the chance to put this interview out, we'll probably play your latest single called Touch My Soul straight up
Cool.
after. So tell us a bit about the single, first of all.
Yeah, I mean, Touch My Soul was really the centerpiece of the album, really. Just because musically, I think I tried to express the multi-faceted aspects of what has influenced me over the years, musically and culturally. I'm interested in ideas and how the ideas develop across cultures, and I've tried to express that with this tune
Mm.
through a personal, you know, kind of personal journey around mental health and things like that.
Yeah, yeah, nice. And that's coming off your new record, How Should I, coming out in September. What can we expect to hear on the record?
Yeah, again, I think um, a mix of styles and influences that are rooted or really grounded in the Yoruba tradition, musical tradition, percussively, and as a language, Yoruba as a tonal language. So the real foundation of my music is from a Yoruba perspective, but it's a Yoruba perspective that's, for me, based in the UK. So it's a UK Yoruba perspective.
Yeah, nice,
I like
nice. Yeah. And the sound that you've created with this record, was it the plan to create that sound, or is it simply how it turned out?
I think it's how it turned out because in 2019, at the beginning of the pandemic, I got an incredible opportunity with Chuck Law, the producer for Big Bang Theory and Two and a Half Men. He contacted my agents about doing a pilot for a comedy series called Bob Hart's Abishola on CBS TV. And they were looking for music from Nigeria for several months. So they said they'd been listening to a lot of Nigerian library music. And I'm not too sure about this anecdote, but apparently an intern who was a big Jamiroquai fan brought my CD in, my first CD called Roots to Roots, which was based all percussion and vocal, again, trying to follow the Yoruba Fuji and Akbala and Sakara tradition. These are styles of music amongst the Yorubas. So they chose that album for the show. And in the Zoom meeting I had with Chuck Law and the other producers, he never spoke much. He hardly spoke, actually, until the end of the meeting. And he said, Shola, I got two things to say to you. When you do the music, don't play the comedy. And when are you going to do a second album? So he was the one that really kind of fired me that, oh, right, yeah, actually, it is time. So I've really drawn on that first album, Roots to Roots, as the foundation to this second album. So it's really a continuation of the first album, just including more European instrumentation
Mm.
and harmonic movement and exploration.
And when you get onto album three, I'm sure you'll get onto at some point. Do you know kind of what direction you might want to take it?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I won't give too much away, but yeah, I can feel myself going in a completely different direction already. And the great thing about, the creative process is, in retrospect, you can kind of, okay, I see where I was trying to reach for, not quite getting there, but in the not quite getting there is part of the, okay, let's see how we can fare next time around.
Mm. Yeah, nice. And you mentioned Jamiroquai. So what's it like writing music for yourself compared to being in the band like Jamiroquai?
Um, I think for yourself, you can be a lot more, what's the word I'm looking for? Selfish, for want of a better word, just kind of, yeah, this is about me. I don't have to think about anybody else in the band's parts. I don't have to wait till everybody's done their thing before I come in and do my thing, because the basis of this album is the percussion. So really, it's about bringing the percussion to the forefront of the sound. Um, but I love, I've thoroughly enjoyed my time working with Jamiroquai. I love working with the band, and Jay's phenomenal artist, and the band are incredible musicians. And it's always, every album is a challenge with Jamiroquai, where Jay's a very he likes to push. He likes to push things. He doesn't like to do things in the same way, and it's exciting working with him and the band.
Yeah, I'm sure. And it's been a few years since Jamiroquai released a record. I think 2017 was the last one. No touring dates at the moment. So what is happening with the band?
They're writing. Yeah, we're writing. We're writing. We've been up at the Manor doing a lot of writing. Jay's been to in and fro into different places just to get some space to kind of get his head around lyrics and melody and theme. So yeah, we're in the process of getting some very interesting things happening.
Nice, nice. And when do you get involved in the writing process for Jamiroquai?
Of late, not very often. It's the last couple of albums has been mainly about Jay and Matt Johnson, who's the main co-writer with him, and Rob Harris. And then once they've kind of established the song, then I and Derek will come in and build the kind of rhythmic foundations if Jay hasn't already established a rhythmic idea that he wants to develop. But yeah, we have moments where it's just myself, Derek, and Jay exploring ideas. But yeah, that hasn't happened just yet. But everybody's been really busy, you know, so everybody's kind of doing their own thing as well and then coming together. So it's going to be a very interesting 18 months because we've all gone off to do very different things, and it's going to be great to see how that comes into this new album and the new Jamiroquai project and how that manifests itself.
Yeah, nice. And when it comes to the writing side of things for you, how do tracks normally start off?
Well, it's funny. Most of the time, it's when I'm practicing. When I'm practicing, I sit on the drums, or I sit on the congas and kind of practice different tuning configurations on my congas. I play 4 congas and tend to tune them in fourths. I'm right-handed, so sometimes I set my congas up as if I'm left-handed. And those things, it's the same with the drums, with the kit. I'll set up left-handed and change the configuration. And I tend to hear ideas as I'm exploring technical difficulties that I'm trying to break through. And then when the breakthrough comes, it's very strange. I then get this melodic sense, and then I go upstairs and play the piano and explore what I'm trying to, what comes up. So it's actually usually both. Sometimes it can go the other way. I can hear a melody or a line, a melodic line, and then I'll just explore it on the piano. And then, yeah, it's funny that it's the rhythm is always there. It's just about the choices that you make for me rhythmically, in terms of what rhythmic theme can I hear in this piece of, in this line, or in this poetic line, or, you know.
So is it always rhythm for you? That's the key element?
I think fundamentally it is. I mean, you know, I come from a long line of what they call egungun masqueraders in Yoruba land, Yoruba society. My grandmother, on her family side, they were traveling performers, and so they were highly skilled in languages, that they could speak all the different dialects in Yoruba land. They were great drummers, and also historians. So they were very deeply familiar with the historical themes around the different culture, different dialects of Yoruba land. So yeah, and also Yoruba is, as I said earlier, is a tonal language. And for me, you just can't separate the rhythmic approach from the melodic approach. The two things, they switch. They kind of hide and reveal themselves depending on, you know, how you approach it. So it reminds me of Shakespeare, actually, when I did the Royal Shakespeare Company in 2016, Hamlet. I was really blown away. Kate Godfrey was the head of voice at the time, and she really introduced me to Shakespeare properly in terms of the idea of the beats of Shakespeare, iambic pentameter, 5 beats. And then what's interesting is to how the different actors interpret those 5 beats within, you know, their comfort of the language and of the lines. And I really took that on board in 2016. I kind of listened for that all the time. I mean, you know, I think I'm a bit of a linguist who doesn't speak that many languages, but I love the sound of languages. I can hear them. I can hear the music in
And how easy is it then for you to create the lyrics to the music you write?
Um, lately it's been through I in 2010, or was it 2008, I went to Nigeria. I'm from Nigeria, obviously, southwestern Nigeria, Yorubas, who are having a bit of a renaissance at the moment. Anyway, I went to Yoruba land, out into the countryside with a friend of mine who was doing research around these kind of traditional Yoruba ideas around philosophy, religion, mathematics, and it's all contained in an idea that the Yorubas describe as Ifa, I-F-A. It got a bad rap once the colonialists arrived and Islam took over and Christianity took over. But today there is still a beautiful number of people who are still researching and studying these poems, which they call Udus in Yoruba. And these poems express so much. And it's inside of these poems, I was able to find my own melodic journey. Very, very interesting. And I'm still very fascinated in exploring and doing more research around the significance of these poems in the 21st century.
Yeah, sounds really interesting. Yeah, Sola, it's been a pleasure having a chat with you.
Brilliant. Thank you so much.